All right, we'll start things off with Josh Moore.
Hey, Jeremy. I'm curious. See, there's been a lot of guys at Kentucky who've succeeded coming from the JUCO ranks. Just what's that transition been like for you, and how do you just feel like you're contributing here in the spring?
The transition from JUCO to D1 really was it was hard to getting used to, honestly. Just coming here with a lot of the new equipment and a lot of the stuff that we didn't have in JUCO and having to learn how to do it here was probably the most difficult part. And then just getting used to like being able to get what I want, like not in the like condescending way, but like kind of like getting stuff that I need, like the treatment I need, the recovery I need, and stuff like that. Stuff we didn't get in JUCO because we couldn't afford it.
Was there any machine or anything in particular that you were really like when you saw it?
Here, I know in JUCO we didn't have any game ready machines or anything like anything that was like extra equipment wise. We just really didn't have any of that, honestly.
John Hill.
Jeremy, I remember when you committed to Kentucky, you wrote something about, coming out of high school, not having any stars or any offers, not being qualified. I'm curious, have you let yourself just kind of appreciate how far you've come from that moment to now this spring competing for a starting job in the SEC?
Most definitely. I think about those times every day, probably every morning when I wake up. Just remembering and going back is good because it keeps me humble. It keeps me wanting to keep going, and it keeps me remembering where I started at and how far I can keep going.
Dick Gabriel.
Yeah, Jeremy, you got a little bit of action last year, but I know you always kept yourself ready. How has that helped you this spring?
It helped me a lot, I would say. I mean, even though it wasn't really a lot of plays, just getting in there and feeling the atmosphere and filling out the other guys, just getting some chemistry. It's really good. And it felt good, honestly. I enjoyed it, even though it wasn't a lot of plays. I still was grateful for it. And I knew in the future that I could get better and hopefully get more plays.
Nick Grouse.
To kind of piggyback off that, how does it help having a real experienced guy like Luke Fortner next to you on the line? Even though y'all are both learning, a new offense, you still have somebody who's been there, done that to kind of lean on.
It's great. I love it. And not just having Luke on the line, of course, guys like DK and Horsey and guys who've been here for a couple of years, playing with them really helped because we just make each other better. And playing with them, getting the chemistry and getting to know how they play, we all make each other play better.
Is this new offense? I know they're asking you all to do a little bit more. How does it kind of fit your game, and how's Coach Wolford as a guy in the trenches?
I think it fits my game pretty well. I like to think of myself as versatile and being able to block any type of run scheme or pass blocking scheme. So it's really good.
John Clay.
Hey, Jeremy, I'll follow up on Nick's question. How has Coach Wolford been and as a coach? And is his style much different than Coach Schlarman?
Coach Wolford, he's a really good coach. I mean, I love him. He recruited me a little bit when he was in South Carolina and I was in junior college. And his coaching style was probably the complete opposite of Coach Schlarman. He's more juiced up. He got more readiness. He's more urgent, and he's just more like his atmosphere. He just likes a lot of juice in the room. So, and opposed to Coach Schlarman, he's kind of a chill, laid back. So they're different in those type of aspects.
Josh Moore.
I'm curious, Jeremy, about, I know Coach Klink was pretty key in your recruitment when you were coming to Kentucky. And, what's just having him around? I know, even though he coaches the other side of the ball and those guys, a lot of those guys that are also from Detroit, just how big was that? And how, there's a pretty good pocket of you guys here in Lexington now.
Actually coming here, that was honestly a big part in my decision. I mean, I wanted to come here and keep the Detroit pipeline going and, play with guys that I knew and guys that I would be comfortable around. And it really just helped coming to a new campus because it was kind of an advantage that the other schools didn't really have. I was coming here knowing guys who was from the same area I was in, and it just made me more comfortable as a player on and off the field.
We hear a lot about that. I mean, in terms just, because of Kentucky being the closest SEC school to, that area, is that just what, when you talk to people back home, what is their perception of, like, do you sense that people are kind of seeing Kentucky more up there?
I feel like a lot of people are. I know a lot of my friends are starting to watch Kentucky football more just because me, and I tell them all the time, like I'm not the only person here from Detroit. Like there's 10, 12 other people here, and a lot of people from Ohio. So they recruit a lot in those up north areas.
John Hill.
Jeremy, just what are you working on right now? What's your biggest step to make sure that you lock down that right tackle job when the season starts?
My biggest step is just making sure I'm in my playbook, knowing my plays, making sure I'm good off the field, grade-wise, keeping my grades up, and just keeping my weight down to a good weight to where I can move how I want to.
John Clay.
Jeremy, in talking about the transition, when did you start to feel comfortable? Was there a time when you said to yourself, okay, I know I can do this, I can play at this level?
To be truthful, I really didn't start feeling that until this spring, honestly, because coming off last season here, I was still weighing around 350, and coming into spring, I was still weighing around 350, and I just recently got down to 320. So probably around like 2 to 3 weeks ago, my confidence really spiked up, and I felt comfortable. I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I've been doing this my whole life. I ain't got nothing to be scared of.
Much more.
What talking about your weight, Jeremy? What kind of helped you kind of cut off that last 30? Was there anything in particular that you kind of felt made a difference?
Just getting with my coaches and my strength coaches and just making sure I'm staying on a good program. The main problem with me was eating the right food when I had those cravings when I wasn't supposed to eat. And that was probably just the hardest part. So just making sure I was getting the right nutrients in, like a little snack or something when I was still craving food, and just making sure I'm staying like consistently and being truthful with my strength coaches too, telling them what I had last night when they asked me. It's just stuff like that.
What's been the toughest thing to kind of scale back from or give up?
Probably like just like pizza, like kind of like the fast food stuff.
Keep going. They can still see you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jeremy? All right, last one to John Wong.
Hey, Jeremy, in regard to the playbook, there were some hints that maybe some guys weren't picking that up as well as they should. How difficult has that been for you? And what's the key to making sure that you keep up with the mental and playbook aspects of the game?
For me, catching on to the playbook, it was a little slow at first. It was some things that I needed to look deeper in and to be tweaked on. But after a while and after consistently doing it, you'll get better and better. And I'm pretty sure that's how it was for everybody and all the guys on the offense. Just getting used to it the first week or two, and then constantly doing it really helped us out. And then just doing the work when we don't have to, coming in, watching film when coach is not here, or just coming in as a team or meeting together after practice to watch film or something like that. Just making sure we getting all the knowledge we can and about this offense, and we'll keep moving forward, I believe.
Flax, we got time for one more?
Yes.
All right, Jeff Drummond, last one.
Hey, Jeremy, you guys didn't throw the ball a great deal last season, so kind of curious what the transition's been like to this new scheme, the new offense, and how have you adjusted to being, especially at tackle, being in more pass protection mode?
I've adjusted to it by just being consistent in my practice and being consistent when we working on those things in practice and making sure I'm doing it the hardest I can. Because obviously going from not really passing the ball to passing the ball a little bit more will be difficult for tackles. And so we do have to stay on that, being out there on that island. So it was difficult, but now that we consistently doing it more and more in practice, like I said, everyone's getting more comfortable. I think we're all looking better as we keep going.
If I could follow up real quick, is there a guy over there on the defensive side of the ball that's really helped you kind of hone those pass blocking skills?
Oh yeah, definitely Josh Pascal, and definitely J-Dub too. I mean, going against those two guys is just those are the two main type of dudes I'm gonna be seeing and playing in the SEC, and getting those real reps against them for sure help. Most definitely.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.